What is up, everybody? How crazy is it that iOS 11.4.1 is probably the last official version of iOS 11 that we're seeing? Now, I do kind of want to take a step back and kind of talk about iOS 11 and kind of the history of it, but not really just because it's super boring. I mean, there really wasn't too much that was brought into iOS 11 that really switched up the game besides bug fixes. But I do want to preface all that by saying that we don't give iOS 11 that much credit because the hardware that was brought in with iOS 11 was really the biggest factor in it. I mean, when iOS 11 was officially released, that was when we saw the iPhone 10. And the iPhone 10 brought the biggest redesign we've seen with an iPhone since like probably the iPhone 6. But I do think that this redesign was much bigger than the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. But really the biggest downside of this update was just the overall bug fixes and stability, because this really wasn't that great. If you guys remember, if I'm taking a step back for a second, and I'll actually probably just play the video up real quick. When I was first initializing and reviewing the betas, why did I say initializing? But when I first started reviewing the betas of iOS 11, I was like, I'm so ecstatic and so happy about iOS 11. It's gonna be the greatest thing ever, this and that. A little bit, but you know, as you can see, I'll be honest, iOS 11, like I said before, is looking up to be such an amazing piece of software for the phone. And I literally can't wait for the official version to come out. If you're rocking iOS 11 on any version, beta 2, 3, 4, I would say, you know, what are you waiting for? Update to the latest one. I feel like the worst beta they ever did was beta 5 or beta 4. I don't really remember whichever video I made about that. But guys, it turned out not being true. And I kind of see myself saying the same stuff for iOS 12 and the betas for that. But really, iOS 11 has been a huge ride. There's been a lot of ups, well, mostly downs though. There's really only been mostly downs. I think it's so crazy to think that features that Apple said they were bringing in iOS 11 were still being added within the last month or two with AirPlay 2 and iMessages and the iCloud and stuff. If you guys remember that, that stuff was just added. And now we have iOS 12 that I'm running on right now. And I like it a lot. It's really cool. I really don't have too many issues and too many problems with it. I mean, there are some weird issues sometimes. With beta 5, I was having crazy things, but iOS 11.4.1, if it is the last version of iOS 11, I definitely want to say it's a welcome change. It's definitely stable enough. It's not the greatest thing ever, but it's good enough. Don't even think about updating to the betas. If you do that, I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's not going to be good. Psych, guys, just don't update to the betas. iOS 11.4.1 is good enough. It has enough of the features. You don't have screen time. You don't have a lot of other stuff too. The screen time was one of the major ones that I thought of. Oh, group FaceTime, which I haven't even used yet. But if you have an iPhone 6 or 5S, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. But really, iOS 11.4.1, if we don't see it at 11.4.2 this Monday or next week, then I'm assuming that there's no more versions of iOS 11. I think they're going to go full steam ahead and focus on iOS 12, which I really hope they do, just because that is the future. There's no point in trying to fixing iOS 11. There's no way you're going to fix it. But sticking with iOS 12 and focusing on that is really where the future of iOS is. So really, that's it. I mean, that's just a little bit of a glimpse of iOS 11, not a full-on history. I might do one of those videos maybe when, the last version of iOS 11 is, but I think that's where I'm going to leave it at, guys. If you have any questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, but definitely hit that subscribe button.